Hello again, my name is Peyton. To give you a little backstory, I want to share a bit about my upbringing. I grew up in a small town just outside of Sedona, Arizona. Sedona is very well known for being a very spiritual place. People see it as a powerful portal and energy center, or energy vortex. But in the small town where I grew up, well, we saw it as something a little different. Being that I was raised in a non-denominational Christian open Bible home, Sedona was new agey, woo-woo, crazy town. Pretty much the whole of the area where I grew up, you were generally some variation of a Christian, whether that meant you were Baptist, Catholic, Methodist, or like me, just straight up teachings from the Bible. That didn't leave much room for anything else. And while I'm sure there were other religions and faiths around town, they weren't much talked about or nearly as visible. Although we did have our fair share of some cults too, some crazy cults. Let me preface this next part by saying I thoroughly enjoyed my childhood experience. My parents did an incredible job at raising us on a shoestring budget, and while we never understood how much they may have struggled with finances and putting food on the table, and while kids will always want things, they were geniuses at always making us feel like we weren't going without. We'd go on family outings to pick wild berries, went panning for gold in the creeks and valleys near our home, went camping, fishing, hiking, just to name a few things. I love that I grew up in a small town, and I love that I grew up with the morals and the values that they instilled in us, in so much as how we were taught to care for others and to respect our elders. You see, my parents, for their time, they were the hippie-ish Jesus followers of the day, always impressing upon us to love our neighbor and to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It was a time when there was still a cohesion between religion and love and simply being kind. Concepts that I feel like have been completely lost in a lot of today's Christian nationalist movement. But as I got older, I started to recognize this bubble that I was living in. And as the saying went back then, small town, small minds. So as soon as I was old enough to leave, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. And I had some challenges when I left, for sure. Those are stories for another time. But growing up in the Christian church, leaving that small town and moving to Los Angeles, I still always felt a pull and a tide in my faith. And with the regular encouragement by my parents, I had tried to find and get involved in a church to have that familiar fellowship and connection. But after so many attempts to try to find my tribe, I kept coming up against this ever-extending grasp of a dogmatic and judgment-filled organized religion that honestly had no room for someone like me. So I eventually just stopped trying. Mind you, I never lost my faith or my belief in something more, or some enigmatic being or a creator of some kind. But I got consumed with life and work and everything else, as one does. At about that time, I was lucky enough to fall in love. I found my person, the one who makes time stop. So I stopped, unfortunately. I stopped searching for my connection to Source. I stopped learning, I stopped challenging myself. I was just so happy and content that I found myself floating through life. But then life, or more like Source, started pulling me under, trying to wake me up. And through a series of unfortunate and fortuitous events, again, stories for another time, I was led down a path that reminded me of why I'm here and just how special I am, just as I am, differences and all. My goal here on this channel is to build a community of people, misfits like me, the ones who may not quite fit the mold, in hopes that no matter who you are in this incarnation of life that you're in, you will see and recognize the divine light that's within you is the same that's within everything and everyone all around you. And the best part is there's no membership to an organization required. This is not a religion thing. This is an elevate your mindset thing. It is consciously understanding that simply by loving yourself just as you are and loving others just as they are, you'll find your way and you'll find that connection. You'll open up that connection between your heart and your mind and raise your consciousness. I would love to share in this walk with you, in this journey with you. Please hit subscribe, follow along. I only have a couple videos, but I'm going to be posting more. Please follow along, join in, share your stories. Let's do what we can to raise the collective consciousness at a time where this shift is happening. My name is Peyton, and I help people lead with love so that we can recognize our oneness and raise our consciousness.